Mrs. Olmenspeak told me on the phone she blames Ronnie Bennett because he wanted the land. This 90-year-old woman's telling me this.
She thought Corky was going to inherit the land?
So what she said?
No. She said Ronnie Bennett was a scoundrel and he just wanted Carol's land, and he was behind. It was all motivated by the land that they had there.
That's what I'm thinking, that if Pacific with Corky
Cack owned this land, and they were in business somehow. I don't know. The big farm that Cack owned was 11 acres. Most of it went to Ronnie Bennett at some point.
So maybe when they
Ronnie Bennett
divorced,
built that subdivision behind Cack's farm.
so Corky got half. Maybe Corky took some of the property.
Oh,
And
in the divorce settlement.
I don't know. I've seen all the divorce papers. There's a quick claim to Corky. There's a quick claim to Margaret. It's an interesting chain of events.
Do you hear that, Ace? I never.
At what point did he start doing prenuptial agreement?
Phyllis?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I
Phyllis
never
had a
did the
prenup,
same
and then he and Margaret had a prenup.
But I really don't think it was.
He learned
Corky ran around with this guy. Or at least that's what
Steve's videoing.
I know, this is probably not what you
I didn't hear that I knew you called Mrs.
Yeah,
Almond's
this was
back.
just this week. She wanted Harley's, your dad's address, and then she just started opening up all sorts of information. Because she is Catherine's aunt.
Right, and she's the one at Mom's funeral that told us, or Cack's funeral, that said that Catherine was still alive. Because we thought Catherine had passed away.
I thought that too. She confirmed she's alive. She lives in Florida.
That was number 2?
3.
Catherine was number 2.
Phyllis was great.
Phyllis was the best.
Well, I loved Phyllis.
Mhm.
She was great. We all loved Corky.
Well, I think
Grandma
we
really
knew
loved Corky.
I think
Corky
Grandma
was
really
good. But I guess we knew Phyllis more as adults than we knew Corky.
Well,
I knew
Mrs.
Catherine.
Almondsteak was chastising Abby on the phone because she called and Abby answered the phone and Jack wasn't here and I was doing something. I was trying to get ready to leave and she's asking Abby questions that she wasn't sure of their answers. She goes, "You need to know this family history." And Abby's like, "Okay."
I didn't know just because I moved up there that suddenly I'm a historian.
Oh, it was funny. Well, I didn't know she was related to Corky.
She told us that. No, Catherine.
Catherine.
And she did mention that at the Cack's visitation. That's the first time I knew.
But Jack, one question I had was, it seems like as you're driving up the road before you turn into there, that at one time I thought Cack owned some of that land to the right.
No, actually, our grandparents owned it, and then Mom and Dad inherited it.
Oh, okay.
And it was not more than an acre. And and Dad and I went through this for the last 20 years. Every time the county would do tax reassessments, they would assess that property at a much higher value than it truly was. So Dad would have to go in and to the appeals process, and probably right before he died, he says you're gonna be part of this, so you learn how to do it. So we appealed it, and it happened once again from between Dad dying and Mom dying, and we appealed it and we won. And then Mom and I, we drew up an agreement. We donated the land to Aurora with a green space covenant. So the land is owned by the city, but there's a conservation easement on it that can't develop it.
So now you can't be taxed.
So I helped write the conservation easement, and they can improve the roadway and the drainage and utilities, but they can't put a building, they can't put a cell tower, they can't put any kind of development.
But they can put a little pink block of
what
deodorant.
What is that little
What
pink
is that?
ball?
That's what I think it is because there was a sewer stink and stench, and I think that's a big ball of deodorant.
So if they would ever violate that agreement, it reverts back to the Sutton family. So it was a way to get it off our tax liability, Mom's tax liability.
And that's what you always wanted it for, which is fun.
That's why I think our grandfather acquired it, because in the 30s he was worried about squatters. And
squatters were setting up there.
Yeah. And the same thing happened. The hillside right over, which is like this, are separately taxed. They're small parcels, paper parcels, and the county will tax them like you could build on them, and so you have to go down and go through the appeal. Probably every family's probably had to do that, and it's just aggravating because they don't look at it. They just run a computer model through it. And it's near the city. It's a lot. Okay, we should tax it at a higher rate.
It's just straight up and down. So when Dr. George built up here, was there a road? I mean, did he develop the road coming up here?
I think there was always a road. I think CAC's got some history. That was a pretty major buffalo trace or sort of trail. So that paved road always went up and served Shipper's property and then served this.
Does it stop at the top of the hill or does it keep going?
It goes up and then it turns to the right to the water tower, and then there's a number of private drives that feed off of that.
But is it a dead end? I mean, you'd have,
Yes.
if you go up there, you have to turn around. Because I went up there.
No, I thought if you go up, it goes all. You can make that whole loop from if you go, whatever that street is.
You can physically do that, but it's not a public road. You have to go across private property on a gravel drive to connect to that other subdivision.
Because I drove up there recently to see, because I know a woman that lives up there, and then I turned right, and I felt like I was on private property. And I
There's
turned around.
the sign says no outlet when you
Right.
come up there.
It's a no outlet, but the Shippers own a lane. The Shippers developed behind them, and you can drive up, up there and over, but you're not on a public street. You're crossing private property to connect to that subdivision.
Are you on a road?
You're on somebody's driveway, a gravel driveway. The Shippers.
Now, did Ivy lived up there?
Yeah, she lived by the water tower.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, rental house, which I think that house is still there.
Do you know what kind of car Ivy had?
We were trying
It's
to
a big black house.
Yeah, that's just what everybody
I don't know
says.
what the make was. But it's like a big black boxy car.
You had
So
to have
she
it for
was-
your wedding cakes.
So if she's coming down the hill, she really had to do like a 3-point
No,
turn to
she
get
would
to
go
the
to
beach.
Fifth
Did you see the
Street.
picture?
She'd have to go to Fifth Street and turn around and come back.
Okay.
Oh, really?
That big car.
With any
Grandma and I.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got to see
Oh, you
it.
did?
When you say picture in this house, that's
Oh, there's
that's
a
a
lot.
large
Yeah, there's a
number.
So many stories. Well, the last time Cac was here that I remember, he keeps saying, we had that buzzer under the table, and then he would always talk about something on the floor. where
We
they
were
could-
so disappointed when we took the rug off and
There's
no
no-
buzzer.
He kept saying there's a buzzer we could get on.
Well, Grandma had a bell that she would
Yeah.
ring.
Right.
I've got the bell.
Oh, do you?
Just the little silver bell.
I do remember the bell, and then there is a buzzer in the bedroom
Bedroom.
upstairs. But yeah, I never found it.
Yeah.
Haley rings it every now and then, but she doesn't get much service.
A buzzer in the bedroom. Now,
Yeah.
what
On
was,
the wall.
Like a sick
Because that,
call, or
yeah, it was
when she was sick,
grandma's.
When there was
bedroom
maids
was
here.
up there.
was there a maid besides Anya? Or there?
I'm guessing there was
Probably
other
before
house.
Maybe
There
before.
used to be a button right under where
Employees.
Beth's sitting too.
They never lived here, I don't think.
No, there's not.
We haven't been
There
able to
used to
find
be a
it.
button.
I doubt that there was because these are original wood floors.
Yeah.
I know
Right.
I wasn't gonna eat.
What's the question?
Was there a buzzer
I thought
ever?
there was a button.
There's no evidence of one.
No,
I rolled the carpet up and we had the floors redone, and there's no evidence of anything.
Interesting. Jack said it used. How do you wonder?
Yeah, Cac's wireless.
Do you remember a button on the floor in here, H?
No, actually,
the table.
It's not.
It was.
Oh, actually on the table.
It was under, yeah.
Oh, I'm
Maybe
here.
I see on
Yeah.
the table.
And that's
Okay.
gone.
Right.
I think
just
she
remember
just
that.
listened and she responded sometimes and she
No,
didn't.
no, there was a bell.
Well, there was a bell.
There
We
was
know
a bell
there was
on
a
the
bell.
table.
she
No,
rang.
but I think there was a buzzer at one point.
Huh.
Little thing, button, metal, yeah.
Huh.
That's what's so fun about having everybody together, because what one person remembers, somebody else doesn't.
Well, you also got to realize that you're looking at a 15 or 20 year time span of when your memory was with you. Well, at different ages, you have different memories.
Yeah.
Some of us are losing ourselves.
For instance, I remember when you lay down on your back and Jack would come and do a wonderful belly flop right off you. And that was a limited time because it's a good thing.
I was much smaller than you.
I can remember Jack sitting in a high chair, and I don't know if we were trying to get you to eat green beans or what it was, but we said, if you eat your green beans, you'll be big like H.
We had grow powder, we put on it, we did some, I hate to say it, but the rest of you didn't get treated like that. We really
I do
like
remember the grow powder, I think.
Look at it.
It must have worked.
I remember when you guys would come visit, and you and George would go hunt those squirrels, and you up back in there, and you'd bring them in here and skin them and cook them, and it was like So disgusting.
George
So
really,
you're the reason she became a vegetarian.
no, George really liked to hunt. Matter of fact, George and
those
Grandma
squirrels.
didn't always get along because George liked to hunt.
Oh, I just remember
See,
thinking,
I didn't even remember that.
oh, I do.
Oh,
That-
did you always like to hunt? Up here? I didn't know
Oh
you had
yeah,
it.
they go get squirrels
Can he
and
come
rabbits.
back?
Rabbits probably is more ways to spend an egg, but I don't know.
Squirrels taking
Is that a
over.
great?
Deer.
Oh.
I think I've gotten close. It's yellow or brown. It's not blue. Yeah.
Not a great advisor.
But I've read that the young do have blue eyes.
Oh, really?
I read that recently online.
The foxes.
Yeah, they're when they're real